Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you so much, as always, you guys, for being here. And a very, very happy birthday to you. Okay, Sag, so looking at your second week of December, the past to prison, harmony, and I won't cry for you. I think you're finally done with a painful experience that you may feel like has kept you trapped. And the other part of this, though, too, is you finding your own kind of like rhythm and harmony and finding more resonance within your experience. And that may have been hard for you to do because you may have been trapped with something. But this is like, I'm not doing it anymore. This is the last time. This is the last time I'm going to review the pain of the situation. So the past to prison talks about freeing yourself from the misery and the sadness of another. It's letting all of that go. The other part with a past to prison talks about how other people kind of like pull you into their pain and their problems that have nothing to do with you, but yet you continue to follow it. But for you, though, specifically, I think that this is you kind of reviewing a situation for the last time. You're done with it. So harmony, and this was such a beautiful card. It says, by drawing this card, you are asked to release any possible feelings of conflict, judgment, or isolation by attuning yourself to the encompassing frequencies of harmony. Bear in mind that in musical terms, there is a vital place for unison and dissonance, and the dance between them makes for a colorful and original composition. Furthermore, a shared appreciation of both aspects is essential between the players. And so it is with life. And it talks about the art of listening to your own soul and what is essential for you. I love that card. I thought it was beautiful. It's a beautiful way of describing, what happens when we let go of past situations that are either placed onto us or those that we choose to carry, right? Like the pain from that and letting that go and finding, your own rhythm again, your own harmony within your experience. I won't cry for you. It says, sometimes when it's over, closure must be created, not just found. It says, I gave you my last gift. I shared my last tear for you. It's a time not to let you free, but to let myself free. So it's all about freeing yourself from something that happened in the past that has been keeping you a prisoner and having you follow a frequency that is not true to you, right? That's kind of how I look at harmony. But, such a beautiful card. It's a beautiful way of describing a transformation that may happen. But, looking at I won't cry for you and past to prison, this may be a situation that happened a very, very long time ago for some of you. For others of you, it may be because of a recent situation. But there's a feeling of like a habit of constantly reflecting on it being formed. And that may be where the message is coming through that this has to be the last time, right? Oh boy. You're overall the Tower. We're going to wipe everything clean. So, obviously we could be talking about sudden drastic shifts that change everything. But with the Tower, I'm always reminded of this, like, building something up too much and it being on a faulty foundation. It can't stand. It has to come down. Some of you may be making these drastic changes, or something may come through that's going to wipe everything clean. But it has to go away, right? Because it's not, again, the false foundation. But it's so drastic and it's such a sudden shift. So in the past, the Seven of Cups, okay, so that may be where this kind of like feeling of a habit being formed of, constantly looking at something. The Seven of Cups, you're talking about fantasizing about certain options. You know, it's not just about there being a lot of different things that you could be focusing on being in front of you. It's really about, you know, the emotional attachments that you have to them. What are those emotional fantasies that are surrounding those things? And, you know, are there certain things that have been showing up for you where, you know, there's this fantasy, but there isn't an acceptance that it's just not realistic, if that makes sense? You know, for others of you, it's, I thought that things were going to go a different way. But there may have been like distractions, is what I want to say, like different things kind of like popping up in your day-to-day life that may be pushing you away from, you know, actively making better choices for you. You know, but we'll see here. The Seven of Cups, there's always that kind of like emotional confusion with, you know, what are you choosing? And why are you choosing it? You know, is it based off of a fantasy? Because nothing is actually being realized there. In the present, the Nine of Pentacles. So, you know, this kind of has the feeling of, I have everything that I need and I have the ability to make that happen. But I feel like there's something missing. But you're okay. Like, in the material world, you're fine when the Nine of Pentacles shows up. But we're talking about independence. So there may be like this need in the present moment to, you know, remove yourself from a situation where things aren't being realized with the Seven of Cups, like you wish they could have been. But this may be happening because of something drastic going on. But I do feel like, you know, for some of you, you're kind of like bringing it all crashing down. But where you are in the present moment, you know, it looks like there's, you know, at least some level of security. But there's something missing. Like, I keep feeling like there's something missing. Whoo, boy, man, if those aren't some heavy hitters, that's a combo I haven't seen. Justice in future conditions with the Tower being the overall. Holy shit, man, you're talking about like swift correction happening. So with justice, we're talking about accountability, fairness, balancing out a situation. You know, it being Libra, we're talking about fairness in relationships. Something needs to be balanced out, and it may be that it's about you making the choice to do that. And with the Tower, though, we're talking about it being something that you suddenly, you know, do, or something that suddenly shifts within your life. But it's all meant to create this kind of like balance and harmony, right? Like, and it may be that you've been thinking too long about, you know, something that you may have been desiring, but haven't, you know, actually seen happen or see it being realized. And I think that, you know, for you in future conditions here, this is you finally going, okay, so I need to start making the decisions that are going to create better balance. But this suggests that there has been unfairness, because otherwise justice wouldn't need to show up, right? Your best path to follow, the Queen of Cups. Wow, man. Okay, so, you know, with her being there, this is like needing to open up your heart again, but also making sure that you're aware of what emotions belong to you and what don't. You know, because you may have taken on some emotions about the potential for something happening that, you know, may have been projected onto you. She's the mirror. She is the mirror. She mirrors back to others what they are feeling. But then there's always that question of, do you know what is yours and what isn't? But I also get this feeling of like needing to open up your heart again. And I feel like needing to become emotionally available for something other than what isn't real, right? Now, this could very well be about, looking back at your oracle cards, a past situation that has kept you in a place of thinking about certain things, going, that can't happen for me. That can't be realized. But clearly there are fantasies around it. And with the Nine of Pentacles being in the present moment, it's like, you have everything that you need. But if something is missing emotionally, it is about you making the decision to kind of correct that within your life. But by doing that, though, looking at the Tower, right, it may cause like a really drastic shift that I think other people are going to see and become aware of. Now, the other part of this, though, is I'm looking at this and I'm looking at you being in tune with your emotions, and that being the advice, and not letting emotional confusion cause things to collapse around you. Now, that's only going to be for some of you. For others of you, though, this absolutely could be something coming through that completely shifts your awareness. But it is to create fairness and balance where there has been this like disharmony, right? But it may depend on whether or not you are open to it emotionally. Are you feeling it? Oh, wow, man. Okay, so in your environment, the Ten of Swords, and again, right, like, never again. Never again. This is removing yourself from the pain of past experiences that are over with. These are situations that are over with in a painful way with the Ten of Swords, right? But you're okay in your physical world, is what I want to say. Like, there isn't any kind of like worry about your own security and stability. But there may have been like an attachment to the pain of situations that you've experienced where, nothing came out of it, nothing that, you had envisioned happened. But this to me is like independent. I'm independent from the pain of situations that are already over with and done with. So you may be fully aware of, the things that you've been reflecting on. And now it's like, I have to stop doing this because it's just hurting me. And then you have this kind of like correction coming through. Your hopes and your fears, the Five of Wands. So, I look at that and because it's hopes and fears, it really feels like internal conflict. But it's the petty back and forth. So this may be like the petty things that kind of go on within your mind that keep you going back and forth about things. And it's like this conflict that keeps you trapped in this like fantasy about how things could have been. But then there's also the conflict of the things that you don't think are possible for you because, it's not being realized with the Seven of Cups, right? And the fear there would be that the conflict, is preventing you from seeing a change, but the change is so drastic. And then you have the Ace of Wands coming out. That's interesting. So the passionate new beginning, right? Passion being reignited here. And there's the want to act. So there is an opportunity for a new beginning that's going to be coming through for you. But because of the Seven of Cups leading off, I kind of feel like this is something that there may have been fantasies around, but you don't really go after because of, conflicting things that may be going on within you because of past painful experiences. But there is an opportunity to begin something new here. And, again, with the Queen of Cups, it's like opening up your heart to that. Where you may have been looking at things in the past going, yeah, those are just childish fantasies. But one of them may be coming in to shock the shit out of you. The Six of Wands, okay. The King of And then you have the Page of Pentacles in, you know, the page, right? Like the pentacle on the mind. Here's this opportunity, you know, and it's like, I want to see this grow. I want to make something out of this. But there's this communication that comes through too with this that, you know, maybe, again, leading you to this new beginning where, you know, passion is being reignited over something that I think you thought was just a fantasy. But looking at the Six of Wands and the Seven of Cups, I think, you know, especially looking at this, it's almost like there is the recognition that is happening within you that you're doing the right thing now by looking at that and how it has affected you. And there's this victory over the situation where you move into this independence away from painful things that have created these endings for you, or looking at the pain of situations that are already over with. It's like you're removing yourself from that. And then you have the King of Wands where, you know, especially for you, right? Like I've always said, for me, I look at like the Page, the Knight, and the King as, you know, Aries, Leo, and then Sagittarius. Sagittarius seeing the wisdom within the flame. So there's wisdom gained here, but then there's also, you know, this new kind of confidence to experience something different, but you're doing it in a way where we're not flying by the seat of our pants or like, you know, trying to maintain situations that just are not going to, or that don't have the longevity, right? There's the wisdom that's kind of gained there from the experience, but there's this recognition, I think, that's happening within you where you're like, yeah, you know, I'm going to start doing the right thing for me this time. But this could also be about something coming through that ignites that passion within you, where wisdom has been gained, but there is this opportunity to begin things anew. And then there's the communication coming through and the want to, like, I want to grow this. I want to see what happens here. But it's all in order to correct things that have been wrong. It's like the universe coming through and like, you know, okay, right? Like fully aware of what your emotional fantasies are and what, you know, painful things you've experienced, but the universe coming through going, okay, we're going to even it up now. Like I'm hearing even it up from Heart playing in my head. And things just drastically change. And then you have this beautiful new beginning with the Ace of Wands. And, you know, again, right, like the King of Wands, I see it two different ways. It's about how, you know, that energy is making you act outwardly. But it could be because of a person, though, because of it being the Court card coming through, right? But wowza, man, some drastic shifts coming through, but in order for there to be fairness and balance with justice, right? And then there's this new beginning. But this may happen because you decide to kind of like, you know, remove yourself. Like, I'm okay, I'm secure within myself. I don't need to continuously be reflecting on the pain of situations that are already over with. Communication, and again, right, the Page of Pentacles, there may be this kind of communication coming through, or it may be that you initiate that in order to open up the door to that opportunity and that new beginning, right? Play, so important. And then energy. So the first thing I heard was playing with new energy. But it's like you need to openly communicate that. You know, whether it's openly communicating to someone that, you know, may be able to provide you with that opportunity that you're looking for, or if it's you just communicating to the universe or your higher self, or however you want to look at it, right? Communicate that you need to play with some new energy. and you may be shocked at what shows up, but it's not, it all looks really, really good. Meditate and contemplate. And then balance spirituality and practicality. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. And, right, like, I kind of go back to the Queen of Cups as your advice on this, but, you know, and this may even be about somebody that gets you to see things differently on an emotional level. because they may be reflecting your own emotions back to you. But it's interesting how all of this leads off with the Seven of Cups and this fantasizing about things, but nothing actually being real. But that may change, and it may change suddenly for some of you.